I started playing Project Zomboid right before I had 2 exams coming up. That was a mistake. I didn't study nearly enough, and when I studied I was thinking about Zomboid, but the exams are over now. I think I did fine. Maybe. My anxiety about it is killing me. Good thing I have Zomboid as copium. It's both the source and solution to my problems. But now it's the game where I neglect my girlfriend so I can figure out farming. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Brian and this is Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is a highly customizable sandbox experience, and you will see that right away when you start the game. You have 4 options to choose from, along with some challenges. I recommend custom, because then you can choose whether the zomboids are infinite or finite, so in theory you could eventually kill every single zombie on the map. You can choose how fast plants grow, how fast you die, how fast you level up, and whether the helicopter comes to ruin your life once or if it's a regular thing. Something comes to ruin my life regularly right now. I don't see why that would stop with a zombie apocalypse. When I started the game, I thought, ew, that's a lot of menus. But there aren't really that many menus and you get used to it really fast and it becomes pretty natural. In the game, you have one objective: survive. And to survive you need food, water, and a weapon to defend yourself. Everything else you get just increases your chances of survival. So far, pretty standard, so now let's get into what makes this game so great. The intricate spider's web of systems in the game and how interactable the world is. To give an example, you want to go into a house and the doors are locked and the windows are locked, so you have to break the window to get in. Then you climb in and you cut yourself because you forgot to remove the glass on the window. And the worst part of all, this house has an alarm. You are now bleeding and you need to run as fast as you can before the zombies get here. You see, the zombies, they can hear, see, and smell. This is why guns typically aren't a good weapon. Because they are loud. And this is also why you need to wash yourself in the sink almost as often as we have for the past 2 years. Now the vision is the cool part, because you can take cover from their field of vision and close the curtains in houses, but they can still hear you, but you can hear them too. By the way, if you start to hear some screaming, just don't worry about it, it's not your problem. Jesus Christ. The intricate spider's web of systems are the skills and crafting. The skills are pretty simple to understand, and they tie into the crafting and how you interact with the world. An increase in strength increases how much you can carry and how hard you hit, I think. And how long you can do it without getting tired, I think. Look, I'm not an expert in this game. I don't fully understand everything yet. After all, I've only played it for 60 plus hours. Fitness lets you run longer without getting tired. There are also sub-skills in that for how good at parkour you are, how sneaky you are, and sprinting. A lot of these are pretty straightforward, but they also tie into each other sometimes. Like you probably need to make something with metalworking for mechanics. But let's explore one. Let's check out first aid. You increase first aid by bandaging your wounds. Remember to pick up a first aid book for an XP multiplier. Yeah, reading is a part of the game. I've probably spent a cumulative 4 hours of my life looking at one of my characters read. You get crafting recipes from books, and the specific skill books give you a multiplier based on how much you've read of the book. And you have to keep it in your inventory to keep the multiplier. There are 5 multiplier books for each skill. One book covers 2 skill levels. Remember to speed up the game when you read. I wasted a lot of time before I realized you could speed up the game. Back to first aid. The best way to level up first aid is to get injured, and then bandage your wounds. You could do this with zombies, but that's very likely to get you killed. So, instead, run around barefoot and bandage the terrible blisters you get. Or dig a furrow with your bare hands and get scratched on the soil. Level up and you'll get access to new first aid things like stitching yourself, I think. Maybe. I think I don't know enough about first aid. Let's switch to foraging. Foraging is the art of going into the forest to look for berries and tree branches and coming back with poop in your hands. Level up foraging and you'll find better berries, medicinal plants, clay, and maybe even animals, and bird feathers for arrows, which I'm pretty sure I get from a mod. As I said, this is a highly customizable experience, and the mods are a huge contributor to that. When I started this game, I quickly felt that there was a lot missing in the vanilla Zomboid experience, and I would say Hydrocraft is almost a requirement for this game because it adds so much. And being able to use zombies as fuel for my campfire doesn't hurt either. I don't think I've properly finished a single thing I've brought up at this point, and that's exactly like this game. Almost everything in this game leads directly into another thing. You go out looking for a garden saw and then discover the wonders of farming. I've lost count of how often I go out looking for something and completely forget why I was out in the first place. This game always gives you an adventure. You never know where it's gonna go. Whether it's getting distracted by a horde of zombies, or finding a car that works, or finding something you didn't know you wanted. The sweet release of death. You're gonna need to go far to get all the items you need. That's why you need a car. I needed a metal saw, among other things, so I headed off to look for Home Depot. But I quickly got distracted by two cars because I wanted their gas, and then I got distracted again by the horde of zombies approaching me. And then I spotted a meat cleaver. If you see a meat cleaver, be sure to pick it up, because that's your Uno reverse card. It gives you the ability to eat the zombies. Be sure to cook them first. Personally, I prefer to eat berries and instead just use their bones for various things, but it's good if you're desperate. But here's the thing, one wrong move and it's all over. But that's okay, just take your anger out on the drywall and start a new character. But this time, I wanted some fun. I wanted to take the anger out on the zombies. You may have killed me, but I've already killed all of you. I just have to wait about 2 minutes for you to realize it. That's how long it takes fire to kill zombies, and that's realistic enough. It takes a person anything from 30 seconds to 5 minutes or more to die from fire. Well, 207 zombies in 7 hours ain't too bad. Anyway, you can work out to get your strength and fitness level up. You also level up specific weapon types, so if you use an axe a lot, you'll be way better at axing. And there is base building. With good enough carpentry you can build a verifiable fort to keep the zombies out. And start a farm to have a sustainable food supply. Just remember to water them with water that isn't tainted. Maybe use that poop you found earlier as manure. I've never gotten to the point of having a fort and a farm. I was too busy trying to craft a bow. and cooking a zombie with another zombie as fuel for my campfire. This is very late in the video to say this, but you may have picked up on it at this point. This is an early access game, which means the game doesn't have everything in the game that it's supposed to have. For example, build 42 is supposed to add hunting, and build 44 is supposed to add NPCs. But Hydrocraft already adds a form of hunting, but I don't think that's as good as the developers of Zomboid intend for their hunting to be. There's also NPCs added with a Superb Survivors mod, but my experience was that it was more trouble than it was worth. They just took all the food they could find, so I had none left. And they wouldn't react to me killing them for said food. It also made my game crash a lot. You might start getting a little bored. This is your cue to go on an adventure or change the rule set, and create a world where the zombies are sprinters. Or try a character with different traits or a different map or mod. It's up to you what the conditions of your zombie world are. A lot of my game time went towards leveling up my skills, so for me it was kinda like RuneScape, but without all the GF trading. But you might have a very different experience. It's almost entirely up to you. There is so much depth to this game, there is so much sand in the sandbox. I feel like you can do almost everything in this game. If I were to try to explain everything in this game, or demonstrate it, I think I would have to play for 600 hours instead of 60. But I've played so much that I'm starting to have nightmares where I'm in a post-apocalyptic zombie world, so maybe it's time for a break. I didn't play any of the multiplayer, because that's only available in build 40, and I'm in 41 land. Therefore, this review, like the game, is incomplete. And I hope I can complete the review within the decade. Indie Stone, the ball is in your court. I give Project Zomboid an erratic sleep schedule out of 10. Now I'm gonna try to find a game that doesn't bring out the worst paranoid tendencies out of me. Maybe something that doesn't eat all my time. This looks good.